Jeremy and I hit the hard water with an invention first built in the 1940s.
It's an ice boat with a sail that doubles as a cockpit. But will it be fast enough to win the big race?
History is full of inventors who tried to change the world, but there's a fine line between genius and the absurd.
Our team digs up strange inventions from history and brings them to life.
We're gonna build these inventions from scratch.
And put them to the test.
And some of them might actually work.
Yeah.
Jeremy MacPherson is an amateur historian and special effects artist who's worked on such films as Resident Evil and The Hulk.
Matt Hunter's a skilled carpenter, backyard inventor, and adrenaline junkie.
Together, we are the Re-Inventors.
It's a cold winter day with a bracing wind. Exactly what Matt needs to put this ice boat through its paces.
Come on, Matt, you can do it, buddy. That's a good run. Very nice, buddy. Very nice.
I've done a fair bit of windsurfing and soft water sailing, but this is my first go on hard water, and I am flying.
Bring her home, bring her home. I got you, I got you. I got you, baby. Wow. How was that?
It's incredible.
Yeah?
I mean, there is no resistance with this thing. Like a boat in the water, there's so much friction, so much hull contact. 3 little skates, man, 3 times the speed of wind out there.
I know, you were moving, actually. I mean, we have very little wind today, but you were moving between 30 and 50 miles an hour.
Well, that was the ultimate quest of these ice boats, man. Speed, speed, speed.
That's right, it leads us to our next invention, too.
Ice boating has been around since the 19th century, when stern-steered ice boats first raced on frozen rivers and lakes. In the 1930s, the sport was streamlined by a revolutionary design that featured a single steering runner at the front. Known as the DN Racer, it's still the design to beat today. But New York inventor James L. Finch thought he had a better idea, and in the 1940s, his ice glider prototype was featured in Popular Science magazine.
That's JL sitting inside the sail that's also the cockpit. Unfortunately, this photo is all we have, so it means going back to the drawing board.
I'm actually trying to put together blueprints for Matt and I to start our build here. So I've done some research on the shape of a wing. I've tried to meld that in here with our other designs, and hopefully we can start a build from there. Matsky.
Yeah, you almost finished there, pirate?
Whoa, I'm done. I think I'm done. Am I done?
It's like a super cone.
Oh, yeah.
And this thing will definitely make more sense in 3 dimensions, I think.
Right. So we're building, first off, the shape of a wing, right? The coring it.
Exactly. With struts, skin it, stand it on end.
And we'll be inside it.
That's the cool part.
Definitely.
Now, some kind of T-shaped chassis, it looks like.
Right, yeah. And then how do we steer it, right? Do the skates move, or does the wing actually pivot around?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. Definitely some more hurdles in this build already.
Right.
All right, but the big question is, what does this thing go against to see if it would have been a success or not?
Like a DN racer of the time, find a 1940s racer?
Oh, just find a 1940s DN racer.
It's a good place to start, right?
Yeah, we got a few cold days ahead of us, buddy.
We do.
Steering is most definitely an issue with the Finch design. While most boats have a movable sail that swings with the wind, Finch's sail is solid and stationary.
Well, a conventional sailboat works in a couple different ways. You adjust your sail position according to the wind, and you also steer with a rudder. So when you're trying to go into the wind, you have your sail pulled tight in over the boat, and it relies on resistance from the rudder and lift from the sail. Now we're stuck with our ice boat because the sail is the body of the craft itself. We have to figure out how to steer this thing to position that wing in the most efficient way so it actually generates lift from our prevailing wind direction. That's the real challenge here.
Can the Finch glider beat the DN in terms of speed, maneuverability, and stability? To find out, we need to build a prototype of our own.
With Jer's blueprint as a guide, we decide on a teardrop shape for the wing and main frame. Hopefully we'll make the wing as efficient as possible and give the driver, namely me, enough elbow room.
Can you enlighten us with your deep building wisdom on where you want to start with this puppy?
Cut out some of the components, like the rings and some of these strapping, and then get it all worked out together.
So we'll just start with this base plate and then step it down ring size all the way up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll start cutting some of these struts then.
So we're starting with this bottom plate, keeping it within an 8-foot length because that's our material size. So once I cut this out, we're gonna step up successively a little smaller, smaller rings until we build this whole wing. Is this the door? That's about the general shape of it, right?
Yep, pretty much.
So except we have to cut the center out of this thing.
That is an awesome idea.
And we can clean up the edges after, right?
Okay, before we get too high up this shape, though,
Yeah.
I think we got some homework to do on the aerodynamics of the wing and how it
Right.
actually generates lift.
I'm with you. So we'll leave you to cut this out, Tyler?
I think I can handle her.
Have at it, buddy.
Right.
I think.
An airplane wing and a boat sail work the same way. Both are designed to catch the wind, causing a forward acceleration known as lift.
We want to see if the Finch sail works as well as a traditional one. So we've asked our kinesiologist friend Ashley to show us how lift works.
So we have a fixed wing, which is our vertical wing here, and then we have our regular sail, right? And they both run on the same principle?
Right, they're both wings.
Yeah.
So when the wind passes faster over one side of it and slower on the other, it causes a pressure change,
Right.
which makes the boat sail. That's called Bernoulli's principle.
According to Bernoulli, wind travels a longer distance around the curve of a wing or sail, which causes an air pressure difference from one side to the other, and that creates lift.
Meanwhile, the keel on the underside of the boat prevents it from drifting sideways, propelling it forward no matter what the wind's direction.
Oh, it's coming to me. Hold on. Got it, nice.
So that's pretty amazing. You can actually see the sail shape there. If you're looking at that sail from above, you see that classic wing shape, that teardrop shape.
Right.
That's what's generating the lift.
Can Finch's fixed wing design lower wind resistance and increase speed? There's no evidence that his glider broke any speed records or was even entered in competition.
To solve the mystery, we'll have to set up our own race and see if the Finch glider crosses the finish line first. Jeremy and I have gone back to 1940 for an invention designed to streamline the traditional ice boat, using a fixed sail that doubles as the driver's seat.
With just an old magazine photograph to go by, we've drawn up our own set of blueprints for the Finch glider to help keep the build on track.
Well, we got the body of the craft pretty much together. Our next step is to stretch some canvas around this to give it the bulk of the body and the shape of the wing. These guys are gonna get working on the big cross piece that we've laminated together with 2 2x4s. We're getting there.
These lines?
I'd say
Looks
more
good.
cramped than the Yankee.
That looks good.
Okay, so I can be right in here. It's pretty good shape.
Well, I think we just discovered the folly of sizing up from a drawing because, you know, we were working from really just a sketch. We just test fit Matt. He barely fits in there. I don't know where we're going to put the steering and a seat.
This is a sweet ride.
How are we going to do the steering thing? Where are we going to fit that with your legs right
I think it could probably be right down here, right?
Are you serious?
What do you think of that?
That's go-kart steering.
that's-
You just put a rope?
That's ergonometric.
We'll just have a rope hanging out? Oh, okay.
And then the whistle will go right here.
Okay, so we'll finish the top off then.
Beautiful.
All right. All right, you got the top?
Top piece coming in.
I'm almost a friction fit in there.
So who sits up here?
Co-pilot,
Co-pilot?
Tiny Tim.
I think you should drive this thing standing up.
That's not a bad idea. Big bus wheel.
That would be great. So we have the shape down. We need some blades, right?
With the build in good hands, Jer and I head to the hockey rink for a little research and development.
The friction force between a steel blade and a sheet of ice is very small, which is why an ice boat can go so fast. We're testing 3 different blades to find out which one will get our Re-Invention up to speed.
We have one that's pointy, one that's concave, and one that is flat, and that's all involved in this experiment here where we have a pulley system down here with a weight on it. You're gonna sit on the glider and see which one goes farthest.
Yeah, most important, that consistent pull.
Right.
Figure out which blade slides the best on the ice conditions and with the weather conditions.
Best one's on our device in the end, right?
All right, man.
Get on there.
Our first test involves a blade with a pointed edge.
Anytime you're ready.
Brace yourself, fool. Here we go.
Still gliding. Still gliding. 35 feet.
Pretty good.
Let's switch up the blades now. Okay, so we've just taken off the pointy blades here, the super hard ice blades. We've added more of the slushy ice blades, those concave ones, and this will be interesting. Jer, we're all done. You ready to go?
Okay, buddy, same weight. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Moving. Not as good, eh?
Still gliding, still gliding, still gliding.
What we got?
Not bad, Jared. 32 feet this time.
For our final test, we use a blade with a completely flat edge.
All right, Jared, the square profile's in anytime, man.
Can't wait to see what happens here.
Oh, that's the winner, 37 feet, dude.
In our control test environment, the results are close, but the flat edge blade gives us the most distance. So that's what we install on the Finch glider back at the workshop.
These are a bit clubby. Nice
are.
heavy steel that's gonna stand up nicely.
Should do. And we have a lot of skinning to do, right? And we have to make a door.
Exactly.
On this guy,
Well, why don't
right?
I get going on that? I got the staple gun. You guys wanna get some grinding?
I will. We figured that it would save some time just to buy some 1/4 inch by 4 inch sheets of the actual steel itself. So what we need to do is add a really nice smooth round to the front of it and make sure that they're super sharp, which is a perfectly flat surface so it slides nicely, but also when we need to, we can catch an edge on that ice.
In the meantime, I attach our sail material to the wooden wing frame.
How heavy is it?
Light.
Once the wing is complete, we need to make room for the Finch glider's main rival in 1940, the DN ice boat.
This thing is a wreck.
DN comes from the Detroit News, the newspaper that sponsored a competition in 1936 for the best new ice boat design. The hands-down winner was this streamlined front steerer that is still the most popular ice boat in the world.
Found this vintage DN racer online. We were gonna build one. This one came from Michigan. It's in a bit of rough shape, as you can see, some dry rot and stuff. But we'll make some patches, some repairs. We'll get this thing back on the ice.
Is that good? Oh, that's nice.
Once the blades are in place, it's time to mount the wing to the outrigger base.
Yeah. Is it far enough back?
Yeah, I think so. To wrap it around both sides,
Yeah.
should give me a pretty good view. Hopefully I'll be going forward most of the time.
It'll keep the bugs out of your teeth when you're just driving so
Just
fast.
racking across the ice. Okay, why don't we leave Tyler in charge of the steering apparatus?
Okay.
We gotta get you some time in that ice boat, man, because otherwise it's gonna be a cakewalk for me to beat you, buddy.
With Tyler handling the final details on the Finch glider, it's back to the ice for a little DN driver training for Jeremy. Our expert Henry gives our antique DN the once-over to make sure it's ice-worthy.
Rudder is definitely functioning. Old school, but functioning.
Battens are in.
Yeah, what do you think?
Awesome. Yeah, good.
So
Good.
time
You
for a
guys-
little DN lesson, I guess,
Looks like
eh?
you guys
Get
are
you in the
set.
hot seat, buddy.
All right. I can't believe it. Look, I'm right out in the open in this thing.
The wind's not exactly whistling, but I can still show Jer how to make the most of what there is, using a sailing maneuver known as tacking.
Yeah!
When you sail downwind, with the wind directly behind you, it's simple. The wind pushes forward on the sails the way it pushes us when it's at our backs. Trouble is, you can't go any faster than the wind.
Come on, catch that wind!
Tacking takes a zigzag course that cuts across the wind at an angle and applies constant pressure on the sails. The boat is actually pulled rather than pushed, allowing it to go faster than the wind.
Yeah! You know, I actually feel like I'm gonna have the upper hand here against Matt. A little bit of training on this thing, I'm starting to get comfortable. You know, this is a tried and true method of sailing on the ice, whereas Matt's invention, our invention, it's really an unknown.
While this DN ice boat's behaving perfectly out here on the ice, it can sail downwind, across the wind, upwind by generating lift with its sail. We don't know if our invention's gonna generate any lift at all with that weird wing shape. We may not find out till test day.
Watch out for that snow!
Oh no, snowbank, snowbank!
It's test day once again, this time for a reinvention found in an old copy of Popular Science.
It's an ice boat designed by inventor James Finch that featured a fixed sail that also serves as a cockpit.
Be careful what you wish for. We've got tons of wind today, which is exactly what we need, but it's driven the wind chill to like -45. It's freaking freezing, man.
Well, everything's reminding me of ice. Like, even this thing here looks like an iceberg now.
Yeah, but hands down, it looks incredible.
No, I love it. It's beautiful.
Right from the razor sharp blades down here
Yeah.
to this cool wraparound windscreen, man. Well, things have come together really nicely, but we only finished our steering system last night, so we're not really sure how it's gonna function out here on the ice. I'm gonna jump in this thing quickly right now. Jared's gonna push me around very slowly, hanging on to me, just to see how it functions.
All right, so first test is, can you get in there
Yeah, that's the first
with
phase
all this
for
winter
sure.
wear on?
I'm gonna try and work my way in. Hang on. Oh,
Do you want me to get some butter?
come on,
Is
leg.
this leg going to be able to do something? You want some help with this leg?
We may have to actually remove this steering thing for me to get in, which doesn't bode well for getting out in a hurry if I crash. Can you believe it? We stall out before we even get started when we realize that only a contortionist can get into this cockpit unless we take the steering out first.
Port a test.
For steering, we built a T-bracket that was immediately under the steering wheel. Rods ran from the top of the T to each of the front runners. When the wheel was turned to the right, one runner would be pushed to the right and the other pulled to the right. The same idea when you turn left. And for the rear, 2 more rods ran from the T to this runner, thus all 3 would be responsible for directing the ice boat.
Whoa!
Don't do a power skid, buddy. Okay, I'm going to speed up. Hey, turn!
Jero! I got zero control, buddy! I just saw a pylon! Oh, come on, bite, baby, bite! I'm all right!
It's so cold out here that these blades, although they're super sharp, just aren't grabbing at all. We have to change to a super knife edge, right?
Yeah, definitely change the profile. We'll try this one again, but the steering is definitely functioning.
Like the keel of a boat, the blades are supposed to provide resistance that prevents the wind from pushing the boat sideways.
Okay, I got the mechanism off there.
Okay. Well, our original test for glidability at the ice rink showed us we wanted a really flat blade for a longer glide. The problem is out here in real life, we have to have lateral resistance or this boat's not going anywhere. So we've added this super steep 45-degree angle in hopes this blade will bite into the ice better. We can only find out. Lift up a little bit.
The wind's dying down. We better get testing, buddy. All right, guys, so we got the pylon set up at around 100 feet down there.
Our honed blades are on.
Yep.
They're feeling much more grippy already.
The wind is still up, so I'm going to wait for you down there when you take the brake off and fly down towards me, yeah?
Okay, so we're going to head downwind on this first test
Yeah.
just to see how this thing performs.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right, we got movement. Blades are tracking pretty well. Oh no,
All right.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I saw it coming, but I couldn't get around it. I'm still getting the hang of the steering in this thing.
Well, this is like snow is a natural trap for DN racers, man. They'll stop anything, this
Oh,
stuff.
any kind of ice boat. It's like driving through styrofoam. Well, I'm still having a bit of a problem controlling this little ice glider, but the snowbank stopped me dead in my tracks. We backed up about 30 feet. I'm gonna try and get down below it and head off towards Jer down there.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here I come, Jer. Here I come, buddy.
Nice, nice! Push it out! Easy, easy, easy!
Oh, yeah. Meet me on the arrivals level, buddy.
Oh. So, you're coming downwind pretty good, too, right?
Not too bad, but we weren't actually harnessing the shape of this wing very much.
Yeah.
We want to go upwind, I think, see if we can generate some lift, get this thing really cooking.
Okay, so I'll turn you around if I can.
You got it, buddy.
All right. Well, Matt just finished the first leg of the race, which was downwind. So we're going to do the next little bit of a challenge here is to turn this puppy around and try and go windward, which is upwind. A little bit tougher. God, it's amazing, man. You're actually going upwind here.
I'm actually having to hold this door open, Jared.
Are you?
There's so much wind coming around this wing shape.
Can you steer with one hand like that? You're going to hit some snow. Hit some snow.
Okay, slow me down. Well, so far so good. We've gone downwind and upwind with similar results. But now we have to do both, which means turning the glider in a different direction.
All right, Matt, you're a little stuck in the snow, so I'm going to give you a push out.
Yeah, give me a kick off here.
All right.
Let's go in the right direction.
Fingers are crossed, buddy.
Give me a good kick. That's it. Oh! Just lost momentum, buddy.
Yeah. You just lost power there, eh?
It's clear that Finch's fixed sail is the problem. Because I can't swing the sail to adapt to the direction of the wind, I lose all my thrust in the turn.
Well, I remember that in the DN Racer, actually. It's like, as soon as you're making your turn, if you don't make it fast enough, you stop dead. But with this thing, it's even more pronounced.
We decide to try this phase again. This time, Matt is tacking at the opposite angle. Unfortunately, it doesn't work any better.
Come on, baby.
Almost got it. God, unbelievable.
super frustrating, though.
I can't believe you weren't able to make that turn because it looked like you were grabbing the wind nicely, right?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's going in a straight line without too much problems. But
Yeah.
the thing is, a DN racer would have carved that turn. The thing can go back and forth, changing directions all day.
Right, so that's one for the DN Racer. -1 on this one.
Well, yeah, we know that Finch built one of these things.
Yeah.
But who knows if you ever raced it against a DN ice boat? I mean, he would have got his clock clean for sure in this
Yeah,
thing.
unless it was just a straight line race. You want to try that?
Maybe that's an idea.
All right, so drag race.
Cool. Well, we've had some high points and some low points this morning with the Finch glider. The problem turns out to be in maneuverability. The DN race boat can make a long tack, turn around and go back. Our Finch glider will not. But I'm not giving up hope yet. The wind's picking up. I got a good feeling about going head-to-head with Jer.
Well, actually, I'm feeling very confident because I can tell this thing just wants to go right now. And Matt at least needs a push to start.
Inside this Finch glider is that you're very out of touch with the weather. You have no idea where the wind is coming from, how strong it's blowing, the best way to ride it and harness it. So I have a feeling that Jer has a huge advantage here. I can only hope to get out early and hold the lead.
2, 1, never. How's that going in there, Matt?
Jer, don't hit me! Don't hit me! I got you now, mister! That's it, you're mine! I got you in my sights like the Red Baron! Oh yeah, here I come! Jer, I'm stalled out! I'm stalled out in the turn again!
I think Finch had something with that one, buddy.
Well, here I sit by the Finch glider, stalled out.
Up, buddy.
Super. The smile on Jer's face tells the story. The race, even a head-to-head race, was a dead win for the DN race boat. The Finch glider, maybe with a little more wind, might have been able to actually keep up with them, but no way. This thing's doing a circle.
Yeah! I can see why people do this. It is so much fun. You know, you're out in the elements, but you can feel the wind, you can tell where to turn, and you really pick up some speed.
Well, all you did in that little session was rub salt in my wound, man. This DN ice boat, which was the head-to-head competition versus Finch's ice glider of the day, obviously sailed circles around me.
Oh, obviously. You know what? In the beginning, though, you went upwind all right and even downwind all right.
Exactly, but maneuverability was where that thing stumbled, right?
Yeah.
The DN ice boat is super, super good in the turns. My glider, nowhere.
So, know what you're thinking here is patent denied, right?
Is there any question?
Yeah.
Let's burn that thing on the ice.
All right, let's do it. I'll go for a ride in this thing.
Yeah.